So I got a Corvette and you guys are looking at it. At the time of recording this, I am on track to going to pick up a new motor for this car. Now, the LT1 that is in this car is coming out and an LT4 is going in. So I'm picking it up hopefully Friday or Saturday, and we're going to be putting an LT4 back in this car here very soon. So, that being said, there's a reason for all this, and I'm going to kind of explain what is going on and what is going to happen. Okay, now a couple of people have asked me, well, why don't you just dump all that money into the motor? Well, that would be fine. I could, but I'm not getting that motor for what everybody is asking for those motors. So I'm getting a pretty good deal on the motor. That being said, I have collected a few parts in the aftermath of my LT4 breaking. But anyway, I've been doing some learning along the way. I've been doing a lot of, shall we say, I've basically been running through all of the parts, the way these things go together. I mean, at this point now, I know how to pull this car apart and put it back together. So, I mean, the lay person, yeah, there's a lot of work pulling a motor and putting it back in, but realistically, I've got it down pretty good now. So I can just pull the motor and put the new one back in. So, what's going on? Why am I doing this? Well, I decided it was time for another kid. Yep. So the 355 isn't happening right now. Why is that? Well, when I put this motor back together, it's going to have the best parts. All right. It's going to have a forged crank. It's going to have forged connecting rods. It's going to have forged pistons. It's going to be the best small block that I can build. I'm not gonna build a motor that's just good enough. All right. I've already got, basically what I'm paying for this motor in heads, and I still have yet to buy the camshaft. I have the camshaft picked out, and I'm going to be ordering that here in the next couple of weeks. But regardless, it's been a hot minute since I've had babies. So what I need to do right now is pay for doctor's visits, pay for, crib and all sorts of other fun stuff that baby stuff does. And I'm at a crossroads. Either I can get the Corvette running as I want it, right? And realistically speaking, the LT1 could just stay in there. But I have a project for that LT1, and I need the heads. And if I pull those heads, then I can't do anything with that. So anyway, my orange RX-7 that was in the garage when I first got the Corvette is going to be getting the LT1. It's going to be an automatic though, so don't be thinking it's going to be a stick. But it is going to be an automatic. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fun. It's going to be loud. It's going to be obnoxious. And it's going to have a monster cam. So anyway, that intake manifold isn't going to be going with. But I do have two LT1 intake manifolds, so I don't know if anybody needs one. I won't need two LT1 intake manifolds here soon. But anyway, so I'm putting an LT1 back in this car. It is a bone stock LT1. It's been, from what I have seen, pretty well taken care of over the years. So, so we're going to be getting that motor this week, cleaning it up, and then I'm going to start putting this thing back in as an LT4. So it's going to have its LT4 stock back in it. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting in that regards. Yeah, I I really don't know what to say. But anyway, a couple people asked me, well, why don't I just, put that money into the engine? Well, before I have to, the money I have allotted right now for the engine for this car, let's just put it this way. I'm thinking big picture here, and those of you who have had kids know what I'm talking about. You have to spend your money wisely, okay? And realistically, this channel isn't focused around making money right now. Could it make money? Yes, it can make money. And really, I'm going to kind of use this opportunity to make some videos about the car, and I'm going to make videos about working on some of this stuff and how to take some of this stuff apart without breaking things. And I'm basically going to use this car as a way to circumvent my needing for another car. So I know I didn't film anything really about the LT1 going in, but we are going to go about this, in such a way where, I'm just taking things apart and putting everything back together. But anyway, as this LT1 sits, it's not going to be whole. So anyway, yeah. So basically, the amount that I have already spent on my heads. Realistically, I'm looking at, for how I want to build this motor, I'm looking at another $5-6 grand. And why do I want to put that much money into an engine? Well, I initially was wanting like 450 horsepower. I kind of want to get it to where, I'm sitting at like, I want to be around 500 horsepower. I would really like to be around 500 horsepower with it. That being said, I still have long tube headers to buy. And it's just long tube headers and a tune. So, I'm going to need dyno time. So realistically, all that stuff's probably going to end up getting pushed out a year. Maybe 2. And depending on how, this baby is and how needy the baby is financially will depend on how much I'm able to divert into the car. Been there, done that. I know exactly how that goes. I've got piles of hoods up in the attic here from RX-7s that I've parted out over the years. And it was one of those things where I parted out an RX-7, I bought an RX-7. I parted out an RX-7, I bought an RX-7. And then eventually the kids got old enough and, it wasn't that big of a deal. And I'm talking within the course of 5 years. I was basically, just beg, borrowing, and stealing to get the parts that I had and to get the cars that I have now. And I'm very happy with how I did that. And I think I'm just going to do that same procedure with the Corvette. The only thing is, what I'm probably going to end up doing, rather than sourcing cars from, here or there, actually, I might just, hey, I know where there's a pile of C4 Corvettes. I might just go and offer somebody, just, pittance for their car, and see if they'll take it. Worst they can say is no, but I digress. So anyway, I've got a few things that I do want to do with these LT1s. Obviously my LT4. As things sit, the only thing from my understanding that is different with this block, and that, well, let's pretend that's a Corvette block. The main caps on the LT4 are a different metal than you would find on a regular LT1. So Yeah, from my understanding, that's different. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, having another baby. Good grief. Just as everything was starting to get settled and everything was going to be fine. I mean, I make enough money to have toys, but realistically speaking, with a baby on the way, I gotta kind of pump the brakes on that. People will freak out if hey, I just spent, a bunch of money getting machining done. Hey, I just spent a bunch of money. I mean, everybody's already freaked out that I already spent money on them heads, and well, I didn't know I was having a baby at that time, so you can't really fault me. And then pistons are between $500 and $800, and then you get connecting rods. And the thing is, I really don't want Chinese parts in this motor, and as tempting as it is to get, I thought Eagle and Scat were good brands at one point, and all of it's made in China now. So I mean, you're kind of over a barrel if you want actual quality American parts in your stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't want to skimp. I don't want to barely get by and put this motor together, kind of half-assing it. I want to make sure that it is going to be a reliable, 100% beautifully built motor, and I want to be proud of it. I don't want to go, yeah, I got a maybe forged, but it's Chinese. I don't want to run into that situation where I got to constantly in the back of my head be worried about something, right? And I was actually talking with an LT4 guy about his LT4 and he put it together, and basically everything, and the only thing he has left is the stock crank. And he really doesn't trust the motor because of the stock crank. And I'm of the same thought process as well. That it's just gonna be one of those things where do you really want to trust your stock crank? Yeah, I know. I understand people, have got them up to 700 horsepower and no problems. But the first goofy firing, you get a little bit of knock, and that thing is gonna really show you who's boss, and it's not gonna be fun. But anyway, I digress. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and show any sympathies, but at the same time, I don't know. It is what it is. So basically, I don't want to be in that situation where I'm constantly holding back on the motor. I want to be able to trust that if I hit the gas and I ask something of this car that I know it should be able to do, that it will actually perform the way I want it to, and not have to go, oh, is it going to break? Ugh. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, all that being said, the LT1 is coming out. I'm going to be making a few videos about how to take brackets off and how to take the air conditioning and everything apart and how to take your alternator out. I'm going to be making a bunch of videos like that. I was going to do this with another car, but you know what? It is what it is. But anyway, hopefully Friday or Saturday, I should be getting that motor. It's a little bit of a drive, but the cost of the motor is about what I got in the heads. So, I mean, realistically speaking, yes, I understand. I could keep going with the motor, but at the same time, the LT1 is nice, but at the same time, I know it's an LT1, and the car drives goofy with it. It feels out of balance, and I know it's because of the computer and the motor, and I don't know, I don't want to trash that motor. So out of the abundance of caution, I'm going to pull that motor and, pull it apart and rebuild it. Actually, that motor might get my LT4 crank, so I don't know. So, yeah. So, let's go adventuring here, guys. I got something here I want to show you, and it's something that really bummed me out about. I'm cleaning, doing some things around here, so don't mind the mess. I mean, you guys know I'm always doing something back here. So anyway, let me kind of show you guys what's going on here. I've got pistons from the LT4 sitting here. Those are face up and they don't have connecting rods. And I have, give me a second. I have pistons from my grandpa's 305, which I am going to rebuild that. That's going to be a fun one. And I am going to be showing you some pistons from an LT1. 96 LT1, 96 LT4, and 86. Technically came out of a Pontiac Parisian, but it's we'll just call it a Caprice, just for that way you guys understand what's going on. And then we'll check out some rotary stuff here. Okay. All right. So you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll make this another video because this is going to end up dragging this out quite substantially. So if you guys are interested in watching that video, stay tuned because I'll have that video up here in just momentarily. Anyway, so I got a Corvette, and she's in there, and kind of here too. Catch you in the next video, guys.